and welcome back, everybody! As is our tradition around here, we're going to take things a little bit slow at the start of today's session as we go ahead and give a little bit of an insight check. We have been gathering up a fun little tale here amongst the four horsemen, so as we tell this story, we like to give a little bit further insight, a little bit of an inside look, if you will, into what each of the players was thinking as they kind of went about on this adventure, taking their characters along for the stroll. So, I mean, let's start it off right off the bat here. If you would, everybody, go ahead and roll an insight check for me.
Insight check. Sorry about that. Let's see.
It's a straight roll, right?
Unnatural one, even with the new dice.
I'm a 6.
I'm an 8.
Okay.
Okay.
More talking from last week so far.
I am a 6 as well.
Dang.
How did
Okay.
my
Wow.
8 beat out the whole table?
That
And
is
Tristan?
just.
4.
Insight check for yourself.
It was a 4. It was a 4. Nothing
wow.
great.
Wow.
Nothing great.
Pretty good.
Oh, this is gonna be a
Yeah,
fun
that's
session
how the table
tonight.
rolls, quite literally.
Get them out now before the game starts.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah. No, we're gonna try and keep it short and sweet a little bit. Make sure we get all the stuff
Still
out.
bad.
That's.
Dice jail.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's as good as we ever roll anyway. So no biggie.
So bad.
That's fine, guys.
Do this.
First and foremost, let's kind of rewind it all the way back to. So last we left off, we were actually just heading out of Oz's shop after all the
man.
ooze nonsense and claims of world eaters and things of the sort, and you guys finally got to take your first steps out into the real world, going out into the desert
They
in
grow up so
search
fast.
of Gene Canito,
Gene Canito.
the
I'm
one
gonna-
and
I'm gonna-
only.
I'm gonna compile. I really want so badly to for one of our shorts to look through, and it's gonna take a lot of work to look through all the episodes and find every single time that name has been uttered, and I'm just
Gene
like,
Canito. Well,
Gene
that
Canito,
is
Gene
a
Canito,
long
Gene
job
Canito.
for
that's gonna be a
you.
tough one. Yeah, I'll try. I'll try.
So good.
Sure, there's
All
a
right.
bot that could do it.
There's a bot. Hey, that's right.
I'm sure there's a bot that could
So-
Find all the Gene Canitos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna kind of skip a little bit here and there, but simply put, after getting the Sandwalkers and making a little bit of a deal with Osmanthus, leaving one of the Sandwalkers behind, you guys ended up venturing out into the deserts where you found the, I'll say observatory deck. Just this kind of rocky mound within the center of the desert where you guys were able to kind of just look back and honestly not find much other than the fact that it was looking back in the direction you guys came from. Following a few trails and things here and there, you continued on further and further east, eventually coming upon a goblin encampment. And we had some fun with the goblins. It wasn't...
short-lived.
Yeah, I was gonna say there wasn't a lot that necessarily happened, and yet at the same time there was a lot that clearly happened.
That's true.
So, I mean,
Magic missile never misses, baby.
yeah. Go ahead, what you got?
I was gonna say neither does my charisma, of course.
Nice. Yeah.
True.
It's not missed once since we started this campaign.
Yeah. Not
No
at all.
way.
No, it's missed
no.
almost every time, really.
I was gonna say no
I
awkward
was pretty
encounters
amazed
within
I was able
Udon.
to charm the leader of a goblin encampment, but
That
I
was
can't
huge.
even charm the local barmaid that I wasn't even trying to charm.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Have you ever used the actual like?
I don't know if I
Ability?
used it.
No, I don't
on
think
I
so.
didn't know you had that.
Yeah, that was kind of a
was
shock
really
to
good
everyone
one
at the
for me.
table. That was kind of cool. So we just got to see that last week, where finally Rodrick's really showing his power over just like people's hearts and souls. You know, getting to woo them with the tongue. And I mean, we had a lot more adventure prior to that point. You got to also take part in a bit of wooing of the Sandwalker that you later named 3.
Yes.
That was a weird one. You wanna tell us about?
We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
Oh,
I was,
yeah,
I was
there
gonna
you
say because that was a very interesting one, and I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit, but definitely for the record, we went in search of an additional Sandwalker at a certain point, And Rodrick kind of made things a little different, a little weird.
Yes, not complicated
was
in the
very
slightest.
strange.
Just a little bit different. I wanted to really quick before we get into that acknowledge on chat that Shimbo said, "Hey fellas, kind of miss the other Nick. He was way better looking."
Oh, that guy was a stud.
Oh,
That guy is.
no way.
Actually, I have
Top
like a
tier.
whole complex about mannequins. They make them look too good. Like, nobody looks like the mannequin, so you know.
It's only with the hat on, though.
It's
It's
just
only with the hat on. He had a whole flat, like he's missing like his whole scalp up top. So, you know, kind of
I look good in hats
Weird
too.
hairline.
I just don't wear them very often.
You don't have to wear hats. Nick.
Oh,
God
Nick.
made me in His image, Shimbo.
There you go.
Oh yeah, in fairness,
Hats
if we
are
took the
hats
hat,
are for receding hairlines,
well,
which is why.
no, if we took
Hey,
the
you
hat off,
have
I'm
a
gonna go
great
get it.
hairline.
So
I'm
far.
gonna grab it in a
Great.
second. If you take the hat off of Slash or the Mannequin of Steel, whatever we call him,
We call him
he
New
doesn't
Nick.
look. Oh, New Nick. And if you take the hat off of New Nick, he doesn't look as good as Nick.
I think it's
It's a rough
terrifying.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well,
I don't
also-
know, but he had a really fresh cut beard.
Yeah,
like
that was
thing
lined up like
sharp, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if you
Sharp.
zoom in, it was purple.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Joel was the barber.
Paper mache.
Yeah, for the record, I would like to note for everybody at home, we hold every session at Nick's house.
Yeah.
Nick decided he wasn't going to even stay at home because he wasn't feeling great. He said, "You know what, guys? You guys take the place. It's all good. I'll step out for a second." And we, and by we, I mostly mean Joel, who brought this mannequin, decided to keep it here. He kept that thing in Nick's house just to terrify every single one of us as we step foot through the door.
Hey,
Ah, there
literally
it is.
every single person jumped scared every time. There he goes, New
Pretty
Nick,
accurate, pretty accurate.
New
Yeah.
Nick, and OG Nick.
And
Wearing Nick's hat too.
Let's
Listen,
go.
Spars
More
did
there.
say that the other Nick,
Yeah.
new Nick, was a beard downgrade though.
I don't know which one's
Hey,
New Nick because
Hey,
I
that's
don't know.
right.
Last session's was pretty great, and this guy
at
right
that.
here.
Oh,
Yeah.
If
No,
Nick
it's
had a
perfect.
hole in his head
No.
like
There
that,
you
he
go.
wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, look at that. He doesn't have the hairline that our Nick has.
You see, and that's why
That's
he wears
so
a
bad.
hat because of the receding hairline. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
whatever this
is
is.
so
He
bad.
has like a tan line from his yarmulke.
That's terrible.
His yarmulke.
New Nick.
Can we go back to D&D, guys?
Okay, back. Okay.
All right, sorry. A little bit of a recap. Everybody got a bunch of crazy
That's what I did
powers,
for
went
Nick
all
too.
through the
I
cities.
recapped him. He needed.
Finally went to go after their first mission, their quest, their bounty, if you will, to go, we'll say, retrieve the archaeologist, Gene Canito.
Moida.
That's right.
And upon coming upon this goblin encampment, Cleave decided to challenge the, we'll say, head goblin head on.
Yeah.
Goblins, unfortunately, everybody learned
They don't
on
do
that fateful day, do not take to one-on-one challenges. They are cowards and pitiful little creatures that only attack in hordes unless given specific circumstances to fight.
We're
Now-
gonna put a little asterisk under there, like these generalizations do not necessarily represent the thoughts and feelings of all
All goblins.
Of all goblins.
of our studio towards all goblins. Goblin kind.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Joel. Yes, we have to make
That's
sure
for,
that we have
for,
these.
for the new nerds. They don't like these.
Before we went on a tangent, I think the question was how we actually came about getting 3, or I
Oh,
guess
yes.
maybe what was the
Well-
train of thought to get 3?
But should we
Do we want
ghost
to rewind a
episode
little
by
bit further?
episode?
Sure, let's do it. Let's do
Right,
it.
because the first one is Wake Up 1, 2, Jeff.
Yeah.
If you understand the reference, type it in the chat. And type no if you don't, and we will explain it.
That's a hard reference.
That's a really
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
reference. It's called Wake Up 1, 2, Jeff. Let's see.
That was inspired by without me saying what it is. My cousin, when we were younger, it was a thing that would come up a lot when we were, hanging out and playing with just cousins, little kids.
Of course.
Should we give a clue
Yeah.
at least? A small
If
clue?
you got one, yeah. What do you got?
It has to do with a television program. That's
yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go. That's a good one. So we'll go into recap.
As like
we'll
the
go
last
and
10
continue.
episodes have.
Yeah.
Everything has just been references for like 10 sessions straight.
So we can go into the recap. We can talk about the episode, and then towards the end of that, we will reveal what the actual reference is.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Wake Up 1, 2, Jeff.
Nice, there you go.
Can I just do a whole side note? Every single time I come in here, Nick fills this whole thing up with water for me so that I can fill my water. It's what a
It's a
guy.
beautiful thing.
He doesn't even pour any into his.
Have you really been filling it up, or is it just old water?
I'm not gonna tell you. It's new every
What a
time. It's just
guy.
where does it come from is the question.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm trying to lift him up right now. Look what he's doing.
I'm still
Okay,
scarred
okay.
from the other Nick thing.
That wasn't us. That was the audience.
So, are we gonna explain what happened to when we got into the desert, then the goblins?
Oh yeah,
and
let's
then
start with the goblins, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of important.
We exploded the whole. And then,
Yeah, Calagon is a sharpshooter. The guy does not miss. Let's put it that way. And while he was looking on as Cleave was trying to start his own little one-on-one combat, Calagon snuck around to the side, saw one specific goblin leaned over a certain mountain of barrels. Those barrels happened to be something akin to gunpowder. And shooting down this torch-wielding goblin, the entire camp exploded instantly, and the entire encounter was over way faster than I had hoped. But
That was the
That.
fastest
It was very exciting. It was
combat
very exciting.
encounter in the world.
It was pretty awesome. I had no
It
With
idea.
that
was
much
incredible.
success, yeah.
It's
How
rare
much
that you get
success?
that much success at just the right time.
I think a little too
Although,
much
yeah,
success.
Yeah, because we were hurt. Yeah.
We killed the humans that
That
we
too.
wanted to talk to.
That's
That has been
That was rough.
quite an issue. Guys, you guys aren't saving anybody.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's true.
The
Yeah.
casualty
That could have
count.
been Gene
What-
Canito up there.
Do we have a casualty
There goes
count
the
yet?
mission.
Oh,
Casualty.
man. Hey,
It's
AI
at least
bot,
10.
get on it.
if you would love the challenge, okay, I'm talking to chat.
60 hours worth of
If you would
content.
love the challenge, go through our episodes and count the casualty count. See
Do squirrels
how many
count who jumped into the mouths of wargs?
Yes, squirrels count too. So
It's
let's
innocent
see.
lives that
How
were
many innocent
turtles.
lives have
Turtles.
been lost at
Well,
the hand? At
Yes,
the,
it ha-
at
we,
the-
ha- we have to have played a direct, like, part
Okay.
in the loss of their life, so the squirrels
Yeah,
have to count.
yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
made them do that.
Yeah.
Right, like
correct.
lobbing a turtle directly into like corrosive water.
Yep.
Yes.
Just
We're
like
like,
that.
we're
Did
like
that
the
one live?
Avengers, pretty much, right?
It's hard to say.
Oh,
Hard to say.
he did
Are we-
pop in,
we're-
didn't he? I did
He
remember
did
hearing the
for
splash.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely made it down there. I'll say that much.
That's rough. So if you want to go through the episodes, do a casualty count and post it on chat maybe next week or something or whenever. That would be amazing. That'd be hilarious.
So, with that encampment, there were 3 human beings,
Word.
Oh, God.
of which the goblins were holding prisoner. And unfortunately, by the end of the 4 horsemen's reign of terror here, there were no more humans,
Whoops.
as has unfortunately become the norm.
We did not mean to. Okay?
Specifically within these goblin
We
camps.
probably should have
True.
said something, like a couple words or something.
Yeah.
We were just like, whoops.
Oops.
We need shelter now.
We're gonna fight.
Move on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was rough. And then everything went into flame.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we could barely find things. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's possible, and Tristan will never tell us, but it's possible that everything just went aflame and we may
Yeah.
have lost some items or whatever.
And there was
it's
a
possible.
sandstorm approaching, so we had to figure out quickly how to make shelter out of the
Yes.
Yeah.
the whole thing we just ruined.
Kind of interrupted our whole deal. It was like, how Darude?
Yeah. Yeah, right? I can admit that I did a big boo-boo during the camp out through the sandstorm by peeking my head out and directly making eye contact with that monster. I don't think we were
Yeah.
ready for battle. I think
Yeah,
we were
first
pretty hurt.
official
We
encounter with a rust
didn't have
monster.
time.
That was pretty good.
I would
yeah.
love Tristan to retell the imagery of that.
Go for
though.
it.
Oh, just the grotesque, ginormous, cockroach-looking rust monster that
Well, just that whole
started its
what
way
else?
over.
It
Yeah,
was
everything
part
that was
of
out
Yeah, as part
A horde
of the
of-
caravan, we'll say.
yeah.
Of giant shadows. Now, Rodrick was onto something. He had me excited. My boy David over here was all about trying to wrangle and ride whatever ginormous shadow creature was hidden within the sandstorm. And there was a moment of hope for me, for sure, where I got very, very excited to see what the adventure would turn into. But unfortunately, they didn't take that path, and instead just continued to hide out.
You said it was like
Avoid
mountain-sized,
everything.
right?
Yeah. At least
like
the
a
shadows
titan.
seemed to be like it like blacked out the skyline essentially.
Yeah. By
That's
far the biggest thing
crazy.
we haven't seen. You're the only one to see it, right?
Correct, Arlyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Arlyn saw. Which we have theories, chat. We have theories.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we can talk about our theories.
We
Yeah,
can talk about our
for
theories,
sure.
Can't confirm
right?
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tristan
yeah.
will never say anything, but we have theories that the giant creature may just be, what was his name? Urthalak? Urthalak,
Yeah.
the Titan primordial that was released in Breaking the Veil a year prior.
Yeah.
We have that theory.
like it.
We don't know. They didn't tell us. But it's possible. Or it could just be another primordial.
If you guys donate
Unfortunately-
$50, Tristan will tell us. So donate 50. No, I'm just
Don't,
kidding.
So I can't tell them that it was 50
how many
goblins in a really
moonstones
long
is
trench
50
coat.
bucks?
That'd be insane. That'd be cool. That'd be interesting.
How many moonstones is 50 bucks? Like 5,000 moonstones?
At least 2.
I think it's
It's
5,000.
Is this a-
100 per dollar.
Man, I never,
5,000
I never thought I would hear
moonstones.
that
Moonstones.
sentence.
That's
It's
pretty good.
5,000 moonstones, and Tristan will say
I'm
it.
just gonna continue sending us 2 moonstones regularly.
That's so bad. 2 pennies.
We'll get there
every day.
eventually, and then one day you'll get the big reveal when it all lines up. I'll just have to track it very, very carefully.
Oh, man.
Well, we
Oh,
defeated
man.
the roach.
You guys did defeat the roach. It messed
Yes.
up
Barely.
Arlen's father's sword a little bit, but
Yes, it did.
we did find out just recently that Arlyn knows how to repair swords. So
That's right. He was an
it's pretty good.
apprentice blacksmith in his town, Valewood. He never finished his training, but he's trying his best. And so, yeah, it is his main job to try and keep his father's sword as best shape as possible, because
Yeah.
it's going through some damage.
Yeah.
So,
Well, when we're done with this mission, if we ever find Gene Canito, maybe we can seek out some repair along
That'd
the
be
way,
great.
because I have a
some
feeling you're going to
proper
need it.
repair. Yeah,
Some proper repair.
true.
Did
After
you
the
ask Oz
Desert
about
Storm.
that ever?
What's up?
Did you ask Oz about that ever?
No,
He seems
not
to
really.
know everything about everything.
I think so. No, not really, not really. But I guess we could figure that out
Yeah.
when we get there, right? I think. Speaking of the sandstorm, I think finishing the sandstorm was the end of that episode, though.
that sounds right enough.
think so.
Because that just bled directly into the crazy dream sequences. The dream sequences were
Oh.
something else entirely. And guys, that one was one. My
Wait.
biggest fear as a
Did
DM.
it? Like the war within?
Generally,
No, not yet.
Because there was still some back and forth where we do get all of the craziness with the Sandwalker and with
Yeah.
the giant dragon fruit. There
Oh
was
yes.
a
Well,
little
that's
bit of a
the
search.
next episode with
Yeah,
what is it?
yeah.
1 down, 2 to go.
Yeah.
Because we found out
Poor
one
one.
died, and
In the sandstorm.
in the sandstorm.
One
Yeah, that
being
was
the
rough.
name of the Sandwalker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
we-
being
one-
the name of the Sandwalker.
Yeah,
This is
very
probably
creative,
so
these guys.
confusing for
It
me.
But the
was
name
very
one-
confusing.
We really like messing with you guys as it pertains to names with like 18 different Arendors, 4 different Calagons, 3
Yeah.
different ones, 1 different 2.
The only Sandwalker with a proper name, Jeff,
Jeff.
didn't make it out
He
to the
doesn't
desert.
even come with us.
He doesn't even come with us. That's really
Yeah, we
rough.
just
I
leave
really
it
like
behind
that one.
him,
Yeah.
But yeah, we had to go find another Sandwalker. We found 2, right? We found 1, like, squashed or how?
Yeah. So
Basically?
he was literally like, I can say this. He was ripped from
Oh,
the other
nice.
one,
Oh.
where you could see that there was still a saddle, there was still a chain, but there was no
Wow.
Sandwalker.
Add that to the
That's-
casualty.
That adds to the casualty
There you go.
count.
Wait, but was that our
2
fault?
squirrels,
Yeah,
1
definitely
turtle,
our
1
fault.
Sandwalker.
We linked them together.
Yeah, but is nature our
we
fault?
linked them together. They weren't reindeers that got. We did that. It's our fault. Add it to the count.
It is a
could've
sandstorm, and
scattered.
according to Cleave last session, Arlyn is the one who wields storms. So I'm just gonna blame Arlyn for this one in full.
Also, Barry was being very emotional throughout this entire thing. So
Yeah,
we
he
can
was.
add
his
that.
fault.
Blame Barry.
It's all
So-
Barry's fault always.
So that left us with only one Sandwalker, and we had to figure out how to get another one.
So,
So
How
I
long are
get
we waiting before we explain?
we can reveal, right?
Okay.
Right? We can reveal.
you guys
Wake
wanna
up,
say
1,
what
2,
the,
Jeff.
what the
Oh, yeah,
reference
go
is there?
for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You can reveal. It was your idea. You came
No,
up
it
with
was
the title.
just, you know what's funny? I never watched one single episode of The Wiggles.
The Wiggles.
my little cousin was a huge fan. Yeah, there we go. And it was just like a time. I guess it was a recurring joke where like the guy Jeff would pretend to be asleep, and everybody would have to go 1, 2, 3. There was 3. Wake up, Jeff! And
Well, now there's
only
3.
We had 3 of them, but it was now
Now
there
there's
is a
3.
Now
Now
there's
there's
3. we can future episode 1, 2, 3. Wake up.
But yeah, it's this guy Jeff in the Wiggles who falls asleep, literally random moments, and they have to like wake him up at the end of the song or something. And yeah, that was a
It was
reference.
just so perfect because the beginning of the episode we wake up and then we find 1, 2, and Jeff. I was just like, this got it.
Yeah, it's literally a Wiggles reference all the way.
I feel like half of our session and names are all just references at this point already.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
you should
Teenage
hear
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
some of the just like brainstorming sessions when the episodes end and we were trying to think of new names.
Oh yeah, they're kind of
pure
wild.
nonsense,
They're
every
kind of
time.
wild.
The one where we first. It was the one where we
I think it was
were
after-
piling orc bodies outside of the.
Yikes.
Was
You know
that
what
the
I'm talking
first
about?
one?
That was the first one. We had a really intense brainstorming session. Some of my favorites were "Let the Bodies Hit the Door."
Yes.
What else did we have on that one? That's where we started. Like you'll probably see some of these in the future, but like the blank, anything that rhymes with 4 horsemen became like a whole thing. It was like the more horsemen, the 4 horsemen.
That's
the,
right.
The
Even-
door horsemen.
That one was the More Horsemen, right? Where
The More
Rumgar
Horsemen
became
name it
the
the
fifth
More
Four
Horsemen,
Horsemen.
Yes. The More
Yeah.
Horsemen because Rumgar and all that, and yeah, that's
Exit
great.
Stage Right is still one of my favorite episodes.
Exit stage right. Yep.
Oh, you just
That
mean
was really good.
exploding everything?
Yeah,
Yep.
Roger
And we
killed it
just
there.
did.
That was great.
After a big performance.
Strangely common, actually. What a theme.
It is
Yeah.
very common.
Theme.
We which that goes into not the next episode, the one after, our new nickname. But
Yes.
but
Wow. yeah.
1 down, 2 to go. We find a Sandwalker. I believe you use Barry, I believe, to see and scope the area, and you
Yeah.
see like a lot of reveals. See a guy traveling south and a couple other things going on. And Rodrick devises a great plan to catch another Sandwalker when we have no more dragon fruit on us. So you can
Finds a way to
explain.
charm it all, you know?
Okay, so hear me out.
Great start, great start.
Sandwalkers.
First off, where'd this idea come from?
First off, Sandwalkers, they like one thing. All right, we've learned that. Right? They don't. They're not with us because they like us. They're with us because we feed them.
Yeah,
Like all
cats.
other animals.
Perfectly accurate.
Yeah, right. That's how we
Accurate.
domesticated
Accurate.
animals. So here we are domesticating Sandwalkers.
They haven't trained
so
them in the
what's the
slightest.
best way to domesticate a Sandwalker? Food. What's the best kind of food? Big food. Right?
It's big.
Yes,
food.
sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Here in America.
yeah,
Doing it right.
nice.
That's the sound of a Sandwalker.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a camel, believe it or not.
Honestly,
I didn't know
pretty
camels
spot on. That's
sound
great.
like that.
yeah, literally, that's what I
Never
Like
seen the
exactly how I
Mummy?
envisioned them.
Huh?
Largely.
I said, have you never seen The Mummy? I don't know why. There's
A
camels
long,
in there. And
long time ago.
should
A
watch it again.
long
It's
time
pretty good.
ago.
So, what's it called? Or where was I? Okay, so they enjoy food,
Big food.
big food.
Yep.
So, since we needed what's it called? We needed a Sandwalker. I had to
Okay.
become the biggest food that I could possibly become.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right? And I became a large dragon fruit.
You disguised yourself
All right?
as a humanoid dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the weirdest
A large dragon fruit.
thing ever.
Largely based on the characters that Heidi Klum dresses up for Halloween.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say another TV show. I'm like,
I was
are you
thinking-
kidding me?
Like
Another-
when I imagine
That's
myself
a
as the fruit, I imagine myself as her worm character,
Yeah.
which is just like a fruit,
A creature of horror.
yeah, and then
But-
just like a face in the fruit, right?
Yeah.
And then my hands came out of it, and it
Ugh.
was
The
glorious.
disturbing nightmare I can think
I
of.
was trying so hard to figure out what in the world these things would think looking at what they know to be the most delicious fruit to them, paired at times with just a creature just being like, come on down. It's like,
Well, Vic, what's your favorite food?
Curious.
what's my
mirage
favorite food?
ever.
Yeah.
I have a massive listing of like 100 different things. It's
What
gonna
is-
be a tough one.
Just name one. Name a good one.
Just corned beef
But
hash.
you like
corn-
have a
corned
list
beef
of
hash,
your favorite
perfect.
foods with
Wow.
you?
Wonderful
Corned beef,
Beautiful.
corned beef hash is perfect.
Incredible.
Imagine that you haven't eaten for 3 days, right? They're in the desert. You're in the desert. You haven't eaten for 3 days. You're walking, and suddenly out in the distance, it's kind of blurry. You can't tell if it's real or not. You see a little shimmer of metal, right? You get closer. It reveals the shape of a cylinder. Right? Large label in front of it, corned beef hash.
Hormel.
Hormel corned beef hash. And suddenly, the can topples over to the front, opens itself, arm pops out, opens itself, and out comes out little bits of corned beef hash out onto the ground.
This reminds me of my
Yeah,
favorite
Tristan,
moment
what
in
would you
all
think?
of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
I've seen some animals like jump off of dangerous like cliffs and into traffic and like some horrible things. I think that's probably the closest I can imagine that I would think like, oh yeah, that's just my food jumping in and getting ready for me to eat it.
Exactly.
If
Wouldn't it
it's
make you
waving
hungrier?
me over as a giant can of corned beef hash, I think that's a hard pass on my end.
Okay,
But you
so
haven't eaten
hold
for
on.
I'd be
3
scared,
days.
but
hold on,
humans
hold on.
hunt. So I'd be like, I'm scared, but if there's nothing else to eat, at least I
Think
am
about
willing
it.
to hunt. Whatever
You're
that
in
is.
the middle of the desert.
That
You've
just sounds
barely eaten in
terrifying.
the last 3 days, and that's what you see off in the distance.
I mean, you got to risk it at some point, I guess.
There you go.
If I was a
Oh.
vegan and I saw that, I go the other way.
Oh,
but
sure.
but
Pick up
You'd
potatoes.
rather
Pick
die.
up potatoes.
that's what it'd be like, you know? Rather than kill someone else.
Man of integrity. You'd be a great vegan.
Well, it worked. It worked. Thank God. And so it came closer. I made myself scrumptious. Small bits of meat came out of me.
I made
thus
myself
making it-
scrumptious.
thus making myself even more appetizing. Because when you see something large, you don't want to eat large. You want to eat small bits of it. So as the little bits came flying out of me, it came closer. It was curious, and then Cleave ruined it all.
That's what happened.
That's the one, not the whole stringing all your clothing to an arrow and firing it off and
Okay,
ending
well-
up naked in the desert.
Well, this is it. I will say everybody has like these awesome powers. I seem to like not be able to do that much, except for like run out of the ability to stop myself from dying.
It's a
that's
very
all
useful
I can do.
ability.
All I can do is stop us from dying twice. Okay? And if I don't sleep, I'm dead, as I almost was last episode. So, what was I gonna say?
I feel like your bow's been actually like the most reliable thing. I feel like every time you pull your bow, it's just like you're going to hit, basically.
Oh, yeah, off pure chance.
It's crazy. It's just like
You're the-
straight like 19s and 20s every time I can remember.
You are the best distraction in the entire world. So I mean, maybe not like force-wise, even though your bow has been great. You make up these amazing ways for us to go to safety while you could possibly die. So that's a plus.
Or for at least you guys to get the job done.
Yeah, sometimes we'll see how it ends up going. As we,
And Cleave almost got the job done, but unfortunately it ran away
Yep.
because Tristan loves to make things super hard for us.
Y'all made it weird for that poor thing, man. I don't know what to tell you. I can only do so much.
Look, the weird part worked. It was the regular part where you just wrangle an animal that we were unsuccessful.
right?
You guys gotta get some new dice. I don't know what to tell you there.
That's hilarious.
It's a tough one.
Spars,
The weird part
straight
Spars
ones.
is on Rodrick's side. Spars said,
Wow,
and after all that,
yeah.
risking his body, Rodrick didn't receive a single thanks.
Not a single.
There you go.
Not
I
one
was gonna say, he literally
accolade.
tried to
only-
feed
and
himself.
his
Yeah,
clothes.
Wait,
Not
not
a
only
bouquet,
risking
his
my
body
body,
and his
exposing
clothes.
my body.
That's true.
Okay?
that was hidden. That
Walking
was hidden.
around butt naked in the middle of the desert.
Not
He
one
was hidden
thanks.
behind a giant dragon fruit illusion. He was fine. He was not exposing himself.
My real life lack of druid knowledge is gonna show here, but dragon fruit, that's a real fruit, first of all, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But that's not what this is.
It is very closely related.
Okay.
But it is not technically the same thing.
It grows on dragons.
It is similar, but yeah, not Not the same.
I don't know. I don't know.
This one's one word. This one's just dragon fruit. All is one.
Nice.
Slightly different.
Love
Slightly
it.
different.
So I guess now that we... Oh, no, wait. After that, they came back to camp, right? And the sandwalker that was injured came its way towards
It was
us.
still enthralled. It was still like entranced by Rodrick's weird illusion. And that
Yep.
one was one that I kept having to roll for and kept disappointing myself and being like, please succeed, be smarter than this. I'd roll, but this thing's going after this giant dragon fruit.
Oh,
All
man.
right. And yeah, eventually it just kind of walked its way back out of curiosity, not knowing where the orc dude came from, but it certainly tracked the giant dragon fruit. It followed
Yep.
the scents, it followed the visuals, and it was just out here looking for food still. So I mean, it's gonna keep doing its thing, looking towards that path in general. And it unfortunately found its way back to you four.
Yeah, thank goodness.
And we caught it. And we called it 3. So now it's
3,
2,
the
3.
fourth Sandwalker.
3, the 4th Sandwalker. Makes
guys
no
are-
sense.
You guys gotta skip one next time just to make life
Just
easier
5.
for me.
But where's
Ignore
Sword?
4, yeah, just rename Jeff at some point. You know?
Statistically,
know,
the numbers
if I
survive better,
know.
though.
4 is a centaur, not a sandwalker.
Wow.
A Sandwalker Centaur would be horrifying.
because he'd be a horseman.
4 horses. No way.
I lived with this dude my whole life. I still have to put up with this. It's crazy. It's too much.
So I think that is where that's where we somehow get into the dreams.
Yeah, so we all go for a long rest.
Permanently thrown off by
Yeah.
Joel. Sorry, give me 10
He's like,
seconds.
he's like talking about centaur, a centaur sandwalker. So we go somehow. Did we go back to sleep after that?
Yeah, long rest after
Yeah,
that.
because everybody was taking their different like shifts throughout the night after you guys
True.
saw that massive ravine and kind of tracked your way back. Got confirmation that one
That
was
is
dead.
true.
And
Even
so
while
yeah,
we were
everybody
looking
started
for the-
swapping out.
While we were hunting the sandwalker, some of us were
Resting.
and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
just trying
rough,
desperately
man.
to get a rest. Yeah.
We were rough. We were
needed
very
it.
desperate at that point.
These early levels, it seems to be that way a lot.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's true.
One combat, and we're like, oh boy, am I tired.
I'm so tired.
It makes me kind of want to try the rule set where like a long rest is like a week off. So it's just like you really
super
have to
realistic.
Yeah, the realistic ones where like a short rest is a night.
I
like
don't know if I've mentioned this in an insight check. If you
Interesting.
guys noticed this at all, that is largely the case for everyone outside of your party.
I like that.
So if you
What do you-
notice,
What do you mean?
Rowan did not respond as though any of your healing abilities throughout your course within Rudon Village was anything but supernatural. And
Wow.
spoiler alert, there was an explosion within Rudon Village that went off that you guys never checked up on.
That is very true.
And
well, we
there
thought
are
that-
definitely people who also were added to our casualty count
Oh no.
in that time.
Wait, but was that us?
Yeah,
You
was
got a
that
secret
our
to give
fault,
that to the
though?
comments.
That
section.
was not us.
That
That was
wasn't
not
us?
technically you guys.
Okay,
that wasn't
that's not
technically
our
you
fault.
guys.
Okay,
You
no,
guys
it's
just
fine.
left it behind. It was the
I
goblins
take
that
that back.
scaled the
Yes, but
walls.
we're not even security for Rudon.
I mean,
Village.
the Waking Dawn has job to do.
Wait,
Yeah.
at what
Right. They don't
point
have
is it
healers.
our fault?
They
or
said
the
that.
Waking
They don't have
Dawn's
any
fault?
healers.
They don't have any healers?
How
Well,
many healers?
you better hit up Oz for some potions then. You know?
Yeah,
good
that's
point.
why he's there. That guy is invaluable to that town.
It seems
and
like
you
it.
guys wanted to just like execute him. Everybody's
He
out
was
here like,
very
kill us,
annoying.
kill us.
He was
Yeah.
very annoying at first.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to like juggle. Like, is it better to keep a healer or a human trafficker?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
An
Like, you
ooze
gotta-
trafficker. An ooze trafficker.
What is
Very
their
different.
balance of
Humanoid
value?
traffic.
He was a flan salesman.
A flan salesman.
He was simply just any old Puerto
ju-
Rican
he's
mother.
I was gonna say he's my grandma.
There you go.
Flan salesman. Oh, that's so bad. Well,
Oh
I don't
man.
get that reference.
After-
but okay.
You've never had flan before?
No, I've had flan, but I didn't know it was.
our
like
grandma
Oh,
makes
our-
flan.
our-
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
it's literally
and
everyone
sells it.
else
Yes,
is like
our
Puerto
gra-
Rican, just
no,
out
our
here
grandma is literally a flan salesman.
dishing out flung.
I'm more of a tiramisu family, I guess.
Ah.
Wow, very Italian of you, Nick.
That's what I was never.
That sounds great. We gotta bring some desserts to the table.
Cannolis.
Oh, that would
That's gonna be the next
amazing.
insight check.
Amazing.
So,
The dreams.
I believe that is where the dreams picked up. Yeah.
Let's go.
Dreams.
Dream
Which
time.
Calagon and Arlyn definitely got all the love for that time slot, we'll say.
Yeah.
Arlyn started it off where you got an opportunity to give up a source of power, if you will.
Yes.
But the alternative was taking it on despite it not being necessarily fully in your best interest. What was going on in your head as that went on, watching down as you heard this voice telling you, like, give Calagon your power, give away your power at least, and knowing, again, I'll say this is slightly meta, but that you could have granted it to Calagon or Barry even in that instance, or held it for yourself?
Very good question. Very good question. I guess this is insight check, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get a little bit deep, I guess, into Arlyn's psyche, right, with this whole situation. So Arlyn is on a huge quest to seek his father's sword and for justice. I think we're very clear based on our opener, right? But that leaves slight remnants of revenge, right? And therefore knowledge that he needs to be stronger. He will not be able to avenge his parents' death and seek the sword and fight this dragon or whatever that happened in his hometown without growing in power. And up until now, like, he feels awkward that he's been put a little bit in this leadership role within the group, and doesn't really feel strong enough to be leading.
Because Rodrick's the most powerful.
Because Rodrick is the most powerful, of
Obviously.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
Now that Rumgar's gone, yeah.
Now that Rumgar's gone, and so
I'll tone down. I'll tone it down for you,
you'll tone down a little bit.
so you feel a little bit
about to
more
say.
secure in your own
Yeah, but literally.
skin.
We will certainly see this session.
Rodrick toned down, never.
So in Arlyn's mind, right, being in the front lines and seemingly, being looked on as a leader and all that, and the only thing that he has felt he has been able to do is swing his sword, right? Coming from a family of mages, I'm not gonna, I guess, go into too much detail. I guess we'll reveal his parents and all that later on. But he comes from a family of two very powerful mage adventurers, and so him just running up and hiding behind a shield, so
He's
to
out here
speak.
healing people, shedding light with swords.
He does have a little bit of
pretty dope.
healing, right?
pretty dope.
And all that, but trying his best to, like, just use the sword and all that. When he felt, I guess, the spark, right? When he felt this rush of power, I would say he wants to hold on to it. He just wants to hold on to this. Not knowing what else is out there for him, and not knowing what would happen to him if he gives it away.
The makings of a
Right?
dictator, my friends.
What
Hey.
confuses me the most is that the person that gave you the opportunity to get this power totally belittled the person that gave us our original powers.
Correct. And
So-
I think what's important to remember as well is Arlyn's conversation with Arrendor, where he speaks to Arrendor and tells him how supposedly this other creature, right, is saying that this power is coming from him. So he's like pleading with Arrendor, then what did you give me? What did you give me, right? Like, you put Rodrick to be the voice of, the group and the outside source, right? He visibly sees the magic in Cleave and Calagon, right? And so not feeling, I guess, the sense of confidence that he feels like he should have as the leader, right? Quote unquote. He gets this rush of power, and he's like, but Arrendor, like, what did you give me? Like, I haven't felt anything different since our encounter. Sure, you talk to me. I think that is definitely a great asset that came to use.
Very
it
much
came to
so,
to be a huge asset in the last couple episodes. But when it comes to like being able to protect and being able to stand in the front and like hold it down, basically, after he feels this power, he's like, he's not confused about who to follow,
Right.
but he's unsure about what would happen if he gave it away.
And how does Calagon feel about that?
Well, I had my opportunity to join you in this dream,
Yeah.
and I was talked to by this other entity that seemed not very nice.
Correct.
So as Calagon just wants to search for purpose and he has no idea what or who he's going to be or how he's going to get there, he wanted to take that from, because I believe it said to go and take it from you.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it wasn't for Cleave being such the good person that he is, I could totally see Calagon just, it doesn't matter, like, I want the power, I want to be able to, you know, my calling, whatever it is, I want to achieve it. But the fact that it seems like a common reoccurrence where Cleave grounds Calagon's demeanor, where when this seemingly like not evil, but something that's not really looking out for our best interest, like what I think Arrendor was telling me to take it from you, I, as much as I wanted to, went to try to strike the entity in itself instead of taking it from you. So kind of concerned a little bit with your being okay harnessing this power that, you know, but what you just spoke upon that and why you did it. But
well, there's also, because you spoke a little bit more about the source of this power, right? Now, usually in like character creation, I'm not like super harsh on like character alignment and things like that. I think character alignment is like a weird concept because I feel like it can sway, it can change depending on circumstance and experience and life, right? But if I were to put like a hard character alignment on Arlyn, he's chaotic good, right? And knowing that, he's willing to do reckless things for the greater good, right? And so knowing now, specifically knowing that the source of this power comes from an entity that he believes is evil, is not for our benefit. He might have a little bit of fear of what would happen if that power goes to Calagon. In its rightful place, in control of this entity, right?
Yeah.
Where he believes, and it's part of his ego as well, of course, right? Like, for the greater good. You know what I mean? Like, he believes that it might be safer in his hands.
Gotcha. I don't know.
It's weird. It's like a weird dynamic in the party right now.
No, it's interesting.
And he doesn't have any ancient beings calling him my son, and he has daddy issues too, just like Rodrick. So he's missing out. He's like,
my biggest fear is accepting the power, him being able to control you. Like, what's to say if you fully accept this power that he's not going to completely turn you against, you know, without you even knowing. You're a puppet at that point.
You did get to see an aspect of that just last session, actually.
Correct.
Just minorly.
Correct.
So
correct.
Did I miss
But
that?
but
detail?
also
maybe it should just be destroyed, like the One Ring. Just get rid
His
of the
power should be destroyed.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but
No one can wield
also, Arlyn and Manny, right? We recall that there was the dream with
About Theodore.
Arendor. About what?
Theodore.
No, not
Yes.
Theodore. about Arendor,
'Kay.
right? All the doors. About Arendor talking to him about that power. It wasn't just this voice, right? Where, yes, Arendor told Arlyn that his body and physical being is not strong enough yet to wield this power, but to take control over it. And I guess to nurture that seed
Right.
of power, right? And so, like, in Arlen's belief, he feels more confident that Arendor would be on his side
Right.
to fight against the takeover of this darkness, I guess. And so, like, it's just
So
like
Arendor specifically, he was saying that Calagon was not ready. Is that what?
no, that
Oh,
Arlen
the
wasn't
Arlyn
ready.
can't. Okay.
and basically put a choice in front of him. Was like, you can get rid of the power, or you can take it whole right now. And Arlen took it. Arlen took it.
That was
You
an
know?
especially exciting session for me, just trying to figure out
Steel door.
what
Everybody's
you guys
door.
were going to do between you guys. Because there were like 5 different options in
Yeah.
which somebody got new abilities, basically.
And I
And
missed all
so
of them.
every single option was laid out. And the one that ended up coming in fruition was just that you were kind of really digging your heels in and claiming this power as your own, which we did find out is not the only source of this ancient supposed dragon's power, as he did reveal to Calagon that there are other fragments hidden throughout the world, or hidden throughout this land at the very least.
Hey,
My-
Calagon grew wings.
I know I didn't say much last session, but my thoughts about you and having this power,
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
definitely.
you didn't say much last session at all.
I didn't, but I sat back and enjoyed most of it. My eyes hurt from staring so much. But I
Blink
definitely.
the whole session.
It's locked in.
I'm definitely unsure about Arlyn ever since that, though.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, just obviously I don't know.
Ever
There's just
since what?
ever since the dream, ever since he took the power and like with no qualms, like because like I said, the guy was talking down on Arendor.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, coming from knowing really nothing to seeing Arendor and being in his presence, I'm like, well, like this is kind of like the path I want to go. And now that you're like, you fully accepted the power, and even though it was rightfully mine too, so there's like a jealousy, and I'm not sure how this is gonna
Yeah. How's your
turn you out. to be.
like this path of your from your opening sequence deal? Unlocking the secrets of your bloodline. I don't remember what
Lineage.
exactly the
yeah,
lineage.
lineage, yeah.
We've got 2 dragons fighting over you as their lineage, and then it's going elsewhere entirely. I don't know. Like
I'm
is
more
that-
confused than ever.
we're more confused than ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, very good.
pretty
Oh, for
much.
sure.
Well, we got insights into your childhood though. So what was your?
Stop. Sky. We're going to skip ahead on that one.
That lives to be one of the funniest moments, I think, in our entire show.
I feel like people keep forgetting that Calagon's whole introduction to being an adventurer was just a call from this darkened voice in the middle of the night during a storm.
Man, I forget this.
He goes out, starts digging, finds these relics, and takes off
The staff
against
and
his
the book.
family's wishes just to seek out power and purpose.
And again, I would have probably went down I don't know what path, but like I wouldn't be as careful as I am going down the path I'm going if we didn't become friends and stuff like that. So
I have to be a little bit more cautious because I'm with a group of pretty power-hungry people, except for Cleave.
I like how you go under the radar, having taken all of the treasures recently, trying to sacrifice people originally.
Thief and a liar.
Just like, yeah, kill
And
them.
a liar. He's a thief and a liar. And these
he
talks
is.
is about us? What is this?
Well, these guys are
You
dangerous.
started off saying, well, now that I have the power, I don't know if I can give it up.
Yeah.
Which is like a perfect recipe for
Yeah,
horrible
I
things in the
guess.
future.
Oh yeah.
Has anybody, because I like where Nick was going with like how deeply his character is affected by like the presence of my character in particular, but like of like just the role play between us, right? Has anybody? I guess I can start. I know I have, but has anybody else updated any of their personality traits or anything like in their notes based on like since we've started interacting, since the game has started? Have you changed anything, or if not in your notes, do you feel that it's happened?
So, I guess I would say not since my initial creation, because obviously when I created Arlyn, I knew he was going to be in this group. Mm-hmm. But I suppose what I would have expected him to be, if not in this group, he would have been a lot more passive, I would say. Like, a lot more apprentice.
So we forced you into the front.
Either
and-
apprentice or like more like lone wolf trying to seek out this relic, right? This family relic.
But the position of leadership has affected like
that.
that.
Yes,
Like,
everything.
yeah.
Everything about him to like feel more pressure, I guess, to be strong and to be like the decision maker and like to rally up the group and like let's move forward and so on and so forth. Like I guess that's where the changes would be with his own personality traits.
I like that.
Very cool.
Okay, so I'll say about Rodrick. Rodrick is pretty, like, unashamedly himself.
Okay.
But the one thing that has changed is he is, and this is going to seem crazy that I'm saying this because I don't think you guys are going to believe me, but he is slower to speak than he was in the beginning.
So is Arlyn.
Oh.
He watches.
That's a good one.
He watches.
So is Arlyn.
He watches his words more carefully because he has had to eat his words so many times
Wow.
Yeah.
in the last couple
Yeah.
of sessions.
Okay.
That's true.
Like, as far as starting from Rowan, like all these different interactions where his like cockiness and like candor and demeanor just like if it used to not be an issue for him because everything was a show. He was a street performer, so he would just go out with his manager and everybody understood that what they're seeing is a show.
Yeah.
But now that he's going out and he has to somehow cater to like actual relationships because it determines whether or not he's alive or dead.
Because it's
That
real.
was I think
Yeah,
that was the
good.
biggest struggle
Interesting.
of being like chill. People get mad when they don't
That's
think it's a
good to hear.
performance and they don't think it's just an acting skit.
Yeah.
People get pretty mad.
I was gonna say you
good.
were able to diffuse a pretty serious situation last week, though. So after everything went down with
Yeah.
all the dreams and all the powers and everything
Oh, yeah.
going
I do want
on,
to know
and
Cleave's answer to that real quick.
oh, just as far
Yeah.
as swapping his traits.
No,
his growth?
Answer your own question pretty
I
much.
want to hear yours too, though. Well, I've got.
Well,
I've got
I mean,
mine.
I already kind of touched on it a
Oh,
little
you're right.
bit.
Yeah, true.
You started there. No, for me, it went the opposite kind of. Well, it was along the lines of what you were saying at first, Manny. But when you guys say like you've started to like hold your tongue more, one of my founding personality traits from when I first wrote Cleave was that basically he's a follower, particularly of Calagon. It was like I had like 3 different like flaws, bonds, whatever, like all these things that pertain to how willing he was to be moldable in certain situations. His intelligence is not as high as like his wisdom. His wisdom, he's much wiser than he is intelligent. And the way I interpreted that is that he doesn't have a lot of knowledge about the world outside of like plants and animals. But he kind of takes a step back and he applies whatever knowledge he does have very well. And what usually he would do is he would say, well, here's somebody more intelligent than myself. I'll let them take the lead. That's like his wisdom. That's like where he was coming from. But, and now I'm going to take a shot at everybody a little bit, so sorry. But because a few decisions that were made within the group were morally wrong in his eyes, he started to step forward and make decisions and give pushback on decisions that are being made by the group
Sure.
way more than he ever used to, because he didn't feel right in his heart doing those things. He would have bowed to your intelligent decisions or whatever, like anything based on like your knowledge, even if he felt it was wrong. But because he felt things were wrong in his heart, he's had to start adjusting
good.
like how much he does.
So he's very emotionally led.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there was only one time where he kind of went off the rails.
Cleave?
What'd he do?
One time, and it was over Rumgar.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
You
that's
switched.
right.
You were about to
I'll say
would've
end
been
somebody's life.
Cleave
was-
is actually really scary right now, given the fact that even
Inside
if you
of
take him
Rowan's
out,
room,
you got to
right?
do it again.
That was
Yeah.
in Rowan Oakley's room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was a Cleave
Right.
I've never seen.
Yeah.
He wasn't having a good time.
I'm excited to see a lot more of it.
I'm not gonna lie. Whenever this episode starts, I think we're gonna be in a similar boat. The moment we're in right now is a high frustration level for.
Yeah, so all right, so let's pick it back up.
Yeah.
Because we had our entire party go search further eastward after having Barry scout the entirety of Grokt, essentially, and able to see a series of different locations. You guys beelined it for that kind of canyon, if you will, and found, generally speaking, where Gene Kinito had at least been. You guys didn't go all the way to the ground floor because you guys didn't need to, having spoken to a series of goblins and hobgoblins, where Cleave attempted to defuse the situation by pretending to be of their own kin, claiming to be sent on behalf of Hogar, a name that he heard at the previous camp, and claiming that a red dragon was on its approach. Now, they didn't necessarily buy into all of this, given their chain of command, and given the
When they
knowledge
find
that
their
they
burnt
had.
down camp, we'll see.
Ha ha ha.
But one of them was charmed by Rodrick and
was
started
amazing.
giving away far more information than they had initially hoped to do so.
Who was also disguised as a goblin.
Yep.
Yep.
And a
Kipple.
terrifying goblin.
Kipple now.
Yeah, Knockdock the Destroyer initially.
Knockdock.
Yeah, the destroyers. We'll talk
Now
about
he's
that in a second.
Kipple the Destroyer.
Actually, I
Which was
want
one of my favorite parts of last episode.
the Destroyer.
So now you
love that
guys
moment
know
so
that Knockdock,
Really
Morbeck,
funny.
and Nazdak are all hobgoblin names,
Okay.
while Kipple is the name for the weak.
Yeah.
For the mere lowly goblins.
Dude, so annoying, because if I would have seen a hobgoblin, I probably would have wanted to become a hobgoblin. The last time that I've turned into goblins, I've turned into hobgoblins.
yeah.
Because I'm trying to show some kind of display of authority.
Yeah. And they're
But-
medium sized, so that's good too. That'd
Yeah,
be better.
but like, see, I specifically said I'm going to turn into the first thing that I see
Yep.
to blend in, and if it's
So
some
good.
small, scrawny, freaking piece of garbage, that's what I turn into.
So good. I loved it. But hey, charming
So
that
good.
hobgoblin was probably the most clutch move that
That
I've
was
seen on this
amazing.
stream so far.
Hey, when we
absolutely.
ended,
That was insane.
when we ended that previous episode in front of that camp, I was like,
We're dead.
I think we're dead.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to fight our way through this.
Oh yeah,
There's
I
a
wanna,
lot of them.
I want to establish. Yeah, because my understanding was that there was a lot of them, and when I heard that, or when I don't know, when I took that information in, I thought that meant like an army. I thought like thousands. So I was acting from probably a higher level of anxiety than I needed to be in the situation. We possibly could have fought our way out, but in my mind it was like, no, like if we make a bad decision while we're low down in this cavern, it's a wrap.
This is our
like,
great.
It's just like, yeah.
Like, this is our great.
It was
The
a
thing is,
dangerous
I mean,
arena.
if we're going to talk about like battle plans, and I think that this is a constant issue that we keep getting ourselves into when encountering large, like, well, I guess small armies, but large to us, right? Compared to
Yeah,
just
for sure.
we're just four. Now that we have no NPCs helping us, we are literally just four.
The four horsemen.
We
Horseless men.
when you take into consideration initiative, and there's, let's say, 12 of them, it's
of us.
it's very quick it's very quick how one of us starts dying, and then we have to make it a priority to save the one,
And therefore,
and
everybody
therefore
starts dying.
everyone starts
Yep.
dying because then
They get targeted because they're not
Yep.
attacking and
Correct.
not showing.
so
Yeah.
that's why we need to be smart now at the level that we're currently at.
One.
Yeah. I love that we're currently at.
60
Whatever
hours.
level
Like-
level 1.
Level that might be,
Like
yeah.
we've always had the option of fighting out of it. Honestly, in my mind, I don't even think that that's an option. Like hardly ever when we encounter a situation like this, we are going to like somebody will die. At least one of us.
First of all, very often we come into the situations already having expended a lot of our abilities.
Yeah.
Second of all,
That
I
is
have
rough.
no abilities that deal damage. I don't have unless
I
I
have
get
no
creative.
abilities
you know?
at all. Just the
Yeah,
sword.
yeah. Well, maybe that's good. That
You have
might
a
mean
few
your
now.
primary ability is damage
You
dealing.
did
without
take on during that episode
Yeah, we'll talk
that
about
power
that.
in full.
Yeah.
As
Jeez.
climbing up the walls, having been given a potion by that hobgoblin,
Yep.
Rodrick seems to have slipped from Arlyn. Or I'm sorry, it was from what, Cleave initially, I think?
Yeah.
It was
We
from
had to
Cleave.
swap off.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
it was from
Arlyn
Cleave.
had
I
to
had
toss
Calagon.
Calagon over to Cleave so that he could dive towards him. And not being fast enough, he heard a voice that called out to him, telling him to claim the power that was inside of him.
Let me tell you that when Arlyn jumped, turning into a superhero was not in his plans.
I was wondering what you were thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
why were you jump off the wall?
I
was stressed out.
I'm trying to remember what I was thinking,
You were thinking he's going to die.
but
and-
most definitely it was not going lightning mode.
Nice.
Like it was not. I remember.
remember what you were thinking.
I still had my spider climb.
Oh.
Ah,
I thought you were going to try to use
I
your
was
sword.
thinking of trying to break as much as I could with my shield and my sword.
Mm-hmm.
If I got to him, grabbing him and taking hold of
like
the wall
it. That's
before he
fine.
hit the floor. That's what. Now I remember. That was my plan, and it wasn't until I realized I'm not catching up to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm way higher than he
Yeah.
was. I took way too long.
which was the
to jump.
perfect time. You were the perfect person to start going after, because we knew from way before this stream even
Yes.
started that this was a potential ability for him to claim.
Correct, but not till like way later.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now
like,
you're making this deal. It's suddenly working out for you.
Dude, let me tell you, when I'm literally flying midair and you're explaining how I see the ground and Rodrick is going straight to the ground and I hear that monster's voice or whatever it is, the dragon's voice, immediately my brain, as Manny, goes, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Lightning's Descent, I believe is the name
Yeah.
of the ability. And so I was like, I have no choice. I have zero choice or Rodrick is dead.
By the way, I had no idea he could even do that. I was completely...
Nobody knew that I
Yep.
could do that.
I mean,
That was the perfect review.
I don't know if you can watch back to that entire scene of like as Tristan is explaining it.
He's like creating
like
new
I
character.
was looking at Tristan's eyes, like, and I saw in his eyes he was gonna kill me.
Yeah, he
You
would
were
have died.
about to die.
He would have 100%
I
died.
saw, it was like a shimmer of like lack of hope.
Yeah. I try to stay hopeful, you know.
Poor
It's good.
Rodrick, literally, like, and I knew I had zero choice, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. If you guys play D&D, you know when you're like in a really, really like rough situation, your brain is just like character sheet,
What can I do?
character
What can I do?
sheet,
Yeah.
character sheet. Like what do I do? And you're flipping through spells, and I have nothing because I'm level 1, right? And so I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then when he said that, I'm like, I know exactly what to do. And I triggered the spell, right, or the ability, I guess.
Yeah.
I believe it's called Storm's Wrath
Right.
is the name that you put
Yeah.
to it. Storm's Wrath. I went superhero mode, right? And I believe it was Lightning Descent. I turn into a lightning bolt and immediately fall up to 2,000
I believe
feet
it is up to 2,000 feet.
with no fall damage, and I land on the ground immediately, causing a thunder wave. But it cancels out my Storm's Wrath mode for the rest of the day, which which Storm's Wrath I can do.
I believe it is once per
Once
day
per
or
day.
once per
Something
one
like
of the
that.
rests.
Rest
I
or
don't
something.
remember.
I think it's
Um,
once per long rest.
yeah.
But
But it does
is-
have other
it's like
abilities
the
typically
finisher
other than
move.
that.
Like
Yeah.
it finishes it, and that was all that I got to do with it because there's no more until the next day. I'm like, the most clutch move ever.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. When you started going down for it, and I was thinking about it, I was like, wait a second. This creature literally wants to like further breed its power.
Yep.
It wants to build on this, and right now you're the conduit.
Yep.
Of course, it's gonna take advantage.
Scariest
Of
moment.
course, it's gonna take advantage.
Of
Why wouldn't it?
the campaign yet? Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, we are truly, you know, because other times it's like, wow, somebody goes down, great, we can get them up, whatever. Like, this was a
he'd have been
definitive.
dead for sure.
Rodrick is dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Series of bad rolls led to
I think
just
the urgency
insta-death.
for Cleave has gone down a little bit, knowing that he can just get back up when he hits 0.
That's not if
from
you
that,
double.
just-
Yeah, not
well,
if you
not
go
from that,
that
that's true.
high end.
Yeah, he-
No, but I'm
Well,
talking
no,
like within battle is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
When Tristan was like, he's falling and falling and falling, hundreds and hundreds of feet.
Oh, this is
I'm
way
like-
past as hell.
I'm like,
Hundreds?
my
he only has like 10 HP.
I'm like my 10 health, 60 feet and I'm done.
Yep. Yeah, no,
I was
very
thinking as
detailed.
soon as he said it because I was like, I don't have anything for this. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough when I realized. I was like, oh wait, yeah, nobody's got any like feather falls left or anything like that.
Nope.
You can't slow yourself. You can't.
And I don't have Featherfall
And then
yet.
yep. So I'm looking at this like, well, guess that's death.
Oh no!
It is what it is. Sometimes you
Bro,
just gotta accept it. You know.
But when I tell you the story
huh?
just tells itself.
yeah, no, that was that.
Tells
that was
itself.
The fact that again, it was literally like you jumping from the wall that I was like, huh, and
Yeah.
I thought that's what was on your mind at first. That I was like,
Man,
oh man, are you gonna try to
wish.
tap into that?
I
And I was like, that's kind of cool.
I
And,
wish
no,
my
yeah,
brain
that's-
did not work that fast.
Yeah, dude,
that's so good.
I was doing the same thing as Manny. I was going through like my entire spell list, and I'm like, no, I could survive this. I could turn into a turtle. I could say that someone's mom is ugly. I could.
Take a goblin down
was
with
like,
you on the way out.
I have rustic hospitality people.
That was quality.
But I have to say
Leave a
that,
smiley face in midair.
that moment
can't do anything.
felt so cool.
That was pretty
I
darn good.
can't lie.
It's pretty epic.
It felt so cool
But-
to just like, yeah.
But it came with some backlash as he did essentially claim you as his own in a sense, as he so said it.
Yeah.
And you got to see a certain effect of that exact thing, where your lightning started to turn black instead all around you.
Very nice.
And you got to see now where his power has definitely taken root officially.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Oh man.
So what
Arlyn's
was a
bad now.
concept, an idea, something floating around in him has now been taken officially by Arlyn and rooted itself deep within him, building itself.
Okay, here's a
Let's
question.
see what happens
It's a
with
little
that.
crux.
Here's a question to see if Tristan actually says it. Are there other places within that first cavern that we were in with the Waking Dawn members
Okay.
that unlock abilities for other people?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
So it is in our best interest to go back.
I've been saying that forever.
How do I put this? Some things were definitely washed away because
Washed
you guys
away.
did flood the entire cave system,
There's no way
and
to
I
like
can't really say much
pop the
beyond
drain.
that. Can't really say much beyond that. But the answer to your initial question is yes, absolutely. There were definitely things hidden all over there that were items, abilities, lore, you name it, just all sorts of stuff
Man,
for you
why?
guys.
My dad is there.
There, okay, yeah. Fun
My
fact:
dad is-
Forever will be.
this is gonna be torturous. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance for speaking these words aloud. I have set certain milestones within the campaign, and even like led you guys towards them pretty directly, in my opinion.
Well, clearly not.
You guys have bypassed them, sometimes acknowledging them, sometimes being like, oh, we could go back and we could do that, whatever. But that would definitely have led to at least one level up at this point.
Is it okay? So the question
Wow.
is, and I don't want to know
Knew it.
anything outright, okay? But are they puzzle based?
Sometimes.
Okay, so like when we first reached that orc encampment where the Rumgar's old clan was, like when we found the humanoids or the humans, I guess, inside of the boxes.
That was mostly just fun lore stuff for essentially where you guys are now.
Good, because I was about to bring it up to this guy. I'm opening words. We'll get there. We'll get there.
So
frustrated
yeah,
with
I
him.
mean, these
What's
guys
his
were able
name?
to spider climb their
Let's
way
get there.
out of this massive rift, and upon exiting, they were met with a bunch of little red goblins, essentially. I thought it was hilarious that nobody thought to take their sled, if you will, along with their wargs, because they all dismounted, went down into the caves, and you guys were just like, all right, time to get on our sandwalkers and head on out.
Bro.
And
He brought that up to me. I thought we met them on the road, and then they went like a mile past us back to the hole.
I thought
That's
so
how I
too.
imagined that.
I didn't think we were right next to the
it was
chasm
literally,
anymore.
it's not necessarily that they were like right there. It's just that they're quick and they were panicked and they just immediately like hopped off and scurried on out,
Love
just in
It's
search
responsible.
of the entryway from that point.
I guess we got to go back.
I mean,
But
I would think we're not that far from them now. All we did was
you guys
run
aren't
right after
tremendously
these
far.
guys. Yeah.
However,
maybe
you
we can
guys
go back and get
are
that
in the middle
sled.
I
of
wouldn't do it. I
some
feel like
form of
With only
conflict.
2 sandwalkers and a sled, like we could all ride comfortably.
we could.
Yeah, that's true.
But
We could definitely go back to the chasm full of the
What's our guy's
goblins
name?
that saw Arlyn
That's
full
what
of
I was gonna say.
electricity and destroyed.
yeah,
half
that
of
they
the
destroyed
camp.
it. Even the one guy that Morbeck that was charmed, that's gonna run out, and then he's gonna be like, "Yeah, I was
that's been run
brainwashed."
out, yeah.
All that is gonna be like
Yeah.
not fun area.
Yeah, for
I
the
don't
viewer,
think-
once it runs out, he knows.
he knows.
Yeah,
He knows he was charmed.
He'll want them dead for sure. But the
But
the cool
They're at
and
the bottom,
awful part
and
though.
it's at the top.
Yeah, the cool and awful parts were that you guys learned where Jean was being taken.
Yes. we
You
did.
guys followed
the
that
south.
path to find this small orc party now that you guys have confronted. And the negative, unfortunately, from that encampment was that you guys, of course, added to the innocent kill count. When Arlyn unfortunately took on this evil power, if you will, striking down full impact to save his one friend and collapsing half of that suspended camp, leading to the death of 5 innocents.
Wow.
The
Oh,
prisoners.
I thought it was just like the tip of the platform.
So unfortunately,
Oh no!
I think you were on their roof, right? The roof.
We're
Quite a
gonna
lot
go
of
back for
backlash there.
them.
We're like the Avengers, guys.
Add it to the list.
Yep. Yeah, so there were quite a few innocents being held captive in there.
Oh man!
And unfortunately,
They got exploded.
yeah, unfortunately, Calagon Dör, this ancient dragon,
Oof.
did not seem to care much for that. And unfortunately, everyone else was too panicked to notice. So,
Wow.
as you guys met up with this this orc party,
Is the world better for our existence? I'm not so sure.
hard to say. We'll find
think we
out.
truly
'cause,
are
like,
the
more as
four
this all goes
horsemen.
on.
What's better, being held
from
prisoner?
Revelation?
Being held
We
prisoner
are
or being
bringing
dead?
death to this world in judgment.
We are the destroyers.
We are the
haven't brought that up yet,
destroyers.
but yeah, we
The
got it.
destroyers.
It is
This
unfortunately
is
accurate.
so bad. So bad.
So you guys can see where they left off with all of the platforms on the side missing here. Yeah, well, after confronting one of the orcs, the orc leader who had the surprisingly enough, not let me double check. What was his name? Morbeck. Not Morbeck with him, but the other hobgoblin with him on his sled now,
Sled
heading
with 2.
towards where Jean was taken.
Did I get the orc leader's name?
You did not,
Okay,
to my
I-
knowledge. This. Oh, I'm sorry. The orc leader you did, Coltron.
Oh, that's Coltron. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Which now that
had
I
that
think
written
about
down,
it, sounds
I
like a
just didn't label
transformer.
it. Yeah, it
It's
does.
definitely a
It's
transformer.
definitely a transformer.
He turns into a horse, a colt. I like that.
But he was with the hobgoblin leader as his right hand and had a series of orcs before him, along with a bunch of wolves, 2 of which were these massive, massive, monstrous dire wolves. And after bringing up who you are, giving a full introduction, saying, you know, we're the 4 horsemen, I'm Cleave, this is Calagon, this is Arlyn, and so on. This character, Coltron, seemed to be generally kind, tactful at the very least, until he wasn't. He continued to tell you basically, hey, keep going, head on to Kiriath Jopa, and leave me alone. Do not follow me. Do not go to Nasdaq's. Stop it. Go away.
He said you'd be better not to be associated with my name over there, which sounded very kindly to me. Just like I don't have good, social currency with the mainland of orcs is what he made it sound like. So I was like, okay, well, maybe that is because he's more like tolerant of other races and stuff. So I was like, oh, here's like a good ally for us. That doesn't seem to be the case.
It did not, as he eventually circled around 2 and just kicked this Sandwalker to the ground, along with Calagon and Arlyn, both of whom he seems to have taken a bit more interest to than the half-orc and possible goblinoid monstrosity that Rodrick was impersonating.
He was being an orc too.
I am an orc.
Was it an orc? Okay.
Yeah.
Orc that's
He must be the trafficker. He must be the trafficker of maybe odd races or something for sale, or I don't know. Seems a little too
If I find out he's
It is
keen
very
on
possible.
paying attention to us.
He did take special note of things that you said, asking certain questions, certain leading questions even, and he seemed to have insight into some of the players' characters that the characters themselves didn't have, funny enough. So,
Time to kill him.
we're about to find out
Yep.
I was going to say, you guys never asked the questions. You guys are like, all right, well, time to go out into the world, find out things about us, and, you could answer the question. Nah. But we'll find out what happens with that in about 10 minutes.
Hey, break time.
See you guys
All
soon.
right. See you guys soon for the next episode.